There's a lot
fantastic
of stuff.
beers.
There's a lot of stuff that goes on in that melon that that is inscrutable.
A lot of intersecting train tracks.
Yeah. I sit here and a lot of times I get this dose of ozone from stuff percolating up in his noggin.
That's correct.
Semi-live from the pop-up Beer to Whiskey Studios on the taproom floor of Greenville Beer Exchange, or GBX as the cool kids are calling it, on South Lawrence Street in terrific downtown Greenville, South Carolina. I'm Russ Heaps, and welcome to this episode of Big John at 5, where I get my good buddy here, Big John Richards, who is our resident certified Cicerone, much as he as much as he finds that somewhat
still a surprise to me for some reason.
Embarrassing. Picks a beer from one of GBX's 22 or so taps, hundreds of cans and bottles that they have in their retail store that you can see behind us. And we sniff, sip, kibitz, and John tells us about the brewery and all kinds of other good stuff. Mainly we get to drink beer, and hopefully you'll drink some along with us. So
we were, me and my buddy Brian, Tall Brian.
Brian.
He was over at my house. Yeah, he's 6'5", 6'6", I think. He was over at my house, and I was like, hey, let's pop a beer.
They put a red light on his head so planes don't run into him. Go ahead.
Yes.
It blinks and stuff.
But only when he's outside.
It's a little embarrassing, but
So he's over at my house, and I was like, hey, let's pop a beer. And so I grabbed a beer out of my cellar, and I was like, this will be fun. And had to go find a bottle opener. I'm like,
see, you should have had Buddy.
Well, yeah,
you should have a Buddy.
Probably. This has progressed since then. But I went digging through my old silverware drawer to find a church key in there I could pop the top with, and I pulled one out. I was like, what is this? I found, church key is that big thing that bartenders put on their arm or whatever, back pocket, something. And pulled this out. It's got this big white rubber sleeve on it. I'm like, what is this? I pull it out, and it says, Certified Cicerone. I was like, I don't remember them. They sent me a church key?
Did they?
They must have.
See, I would have framed that. I would have framed that bad boy.
Brian nearly fell down laughing. He was like, "It is so like you to win an award and forget."
Wow, I would have put that in one of those little shadow box things, right. And
I don't know. It's a thing. So, having said that, we're drinking a beer.
Where were we?
We're about to drink a coffee porter from Creature Comforts.
Oh.
And we were talking about Creature Comforts, how long they've been around, and I thought they'd been around in Greenville much longer than they had, but only for three or maybe 4 years in Greenville now. But they've been there since 2014 in Athens, and
Georgia.
Georgia. Yes, our Athens, not the real Athens.
Yeah.
So, and then they also have a tap room in Los Angeles. And weirdly, a friend of mine just went to go work for them, and
really,
it's super cool. So, also, hi Cynthia. She just went to go work for them, and we were chatting just the other day. She's like, I think she said they're still only in 3 states. I think she said, and the footprint was so small, I was just flabbergasted. And she said, I was like, 3 states? That can't be right. She said, yeah, just the Carolinas and Georgia, I think is what she said. But however small that footprint was, I was like, do you guys have a tap room in Los Angeles? And she goes, yep, but they don't distribute. It's just their tap room out there. So I think it's a little brewery and a tap room out there, which, as legend tells it, is there because Kevin Feige liked Creature Comfort so much while they were filming Avengers in Georgia that he basically funded them putting a brew lab in Los Angeles.
Kevin Feige being the guy that that heads up Marvel
Yeah.
for Disney.
We're also doing movie reviews today. It's for some reason I decided to just in my head. But there's a scene in I think it's the first, maybe it's the second of Infinity War. I think it's one of the two Infinity Wars where Thor is in the Avengers headquarters drinking a creature conference.
Yeah, I remember we talked
Yeah.
about. If I saw it, it went right over my head, but I remember us talking about
Yeah.
it. So, well,
So creature comforts.
even if that's not true, that's a
Yeah.
great story.
Right.
It's a great myth.
And for some reason there's a tap room in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So we are really thrilled. I mean, I love their beers so much, and I'm glad they're still as small an operation as they are. And I was glad to hear that they're even smaller than I thought they were. To
Yeah.
be honest with you, and I would have filmed this and thought that they were in 12 or 14 or more states maybe, but they're a really magical brewery for us down here. When I first started brewing beer and we got our first samples of it up here, I was just
Yeah, I was
stunned.
pretty
And they have been
impressed,
making great beer for, well, they're about to have their 11th anniversary, I saw on their website.
Yeah.
So we're at that 11-year mark.
Yep, when they first, they kind of made a bit of a splash here when they came into Greenville. And so in very rapid succession, I was exposed to their beer. And I was the same way. I was like, wow, I'm glad these guys are here. This
Yeah.
is good stuff.
Yep.
So let's talk about
taste
how
this
good
thing.
this is.
Yeah.
Texas slowly.
Cheers. This is fun. I'm going to let Russ sip it so we avoid a little bit of dead air and say that I remember that this beer is 7%, and I can't remember exactly what the name of the beer is. All I can think of is Drive-By Truckers, and that's not what it is. It's Drive something else. It's not anything like that. It's Drip Decibels. This is what
Go to your, if you're in the Carolinas or Georgia, go to your local beer store and look for drive-by truckers.
you will find it in a music store. You will not find it in a beer store.
So it's something decibels.
Drip Decibels.
Drip decibels.
Did you taste it?
Yes.
Good. You talk about it.
It's a big toasty, roasty
Oh yeah.
coffee porter.
Oh, yeah.
It's exactly what a big porter should be.
Yeah, there's a coffee note in there. Not really espresso. It tastes like coffee. I mean, aside from the carbonation, I could be faked into believing that this was a coffee.
If you let a cup of coffee get cold,
Yeah. I mean, other than a coffee getting cold kind of turns into a slightly unpleasant bitterness, this doesn't have any of that. But otherwise, this tastes like cold coffee.
Yeah.
It's bonkers. That Terrapin used to make a beer called Wake Up.
another Georgia brewery.
Yep. Another Athens brewery.
I see. I didn't
Wake
know
Up. It's not Wake Up Dead. It's not going to matter. It's Wake Up something.
Wake
But
Up
they
Dead. I
brewed
like
it with Jittery Joe's coffee, which is an Athens roastery down there, and this kind of reminds me of that beer and how much I liked it then. Wake and Bake was the name of that beer. Sorry, I went to start thinking about something else, and it finally clicked into my head.
There's a lot of stuff.
Fantastic beers.
There's a lot of stuff that goes on in that melon that
Yeah.
that is
A
inscrutable.
lot of intersecting train tracks.
Yeah. I sit here and a lot of times I get this dose of ozone from stuff percolating up in his noggin.
That's correct. As long as the gears don't start grinding.
Exactly.
All right.
Anything else?
I mean, we haven't talked a ton about this beer except how really good it is, but we are quickly running out of time. So let's just say
Tick-tock.
delicious beer. Check out some Creature Comforts. If you're in the music store, check out some Drive-By Truckers.
So damn lucky. See you next time.